What's up, everybody? Rob over at Lift Positive Fitness in Beverly. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the different variations of squats that we use here at Lift Positive Fitness. Now, this is part of this series that we've been putting out on squatting, and we've got a couple videos that preclude this one. So if you haven't watched them already, go back and take a look at those. Those two videos are on how to find the proper foot position for your squats, and also whether you should be thinking about breaking at the hips or breaking at the knees first when you get into squatting. So the different variations that we use here at Lift Positive Fitness, and I'll start with like our very first progression from doing just a body weight squat and work our way up. That first progression is the goblet squat. This is something that you may be familiar with. It can be performed with a kettlebell or a dumbbell, and I'll have videos on this and also all the other variations that I discussed here. But that's typically the first thing that we do because it's usually the most user-friendly for people. It puts them in the best position typically with very little, extraneous like thought process to go ahead and squat properly, and they can get a lot out of it. And for some people, this is maybe the only variation that they need to use based on their fitness goals, what they're doing, and also their past, exercise history and injury history as well, too. Once somebody's gotten pretty proficient with the goblet squat, and assuming that they've sort of progressed past that and need a new challenge or a new stimulus to continue to help move them forward, we typically move to something called a double racked kettlebell front squat. And that's used with two kettlebells. They're both in the racked position, and again, there'll be a video moving forward on this. And again, this is something that we progress past that goblet squat, but it's sort of the precursor to some of the other things that we'll do with them. The reason I like this is it recruits a lot more of their anterior core, their abs, as they go through this squatting pattern. And it also leads them towards some of the other progressions that we would use with different specialty bars or with the regular barbell as well. So once they've gotten pretty confident and competent with the kettlebell double racked kettlebell front squat, we'll typically move them to a safety squat bar. And we have the luxury of having one of those specialty bars here. It's something that I use with a lot of people when they are first getting used to actually squatting, simply because it allows them to have the bar on their back. They can add way more load than they probably could using, that goblet squat variation or even the double racked kettlebell front squat. But it's also way more shoulder friendly, and for people that maybe don't have the prerequisite like thoracic mobility or shoulder mobility to have a bar in front of them or on their back, this is a pretty good variation for them. For some folks, again, this is the thing that they live with, and they get brutally strong with it. I mean, you can load a lot of weight onto one of those safety squat bars, especially if you buy a high caliber bar, like the one that we have here from Elite FTS. Shameless plug for them. So again, that's typically the next variation. Now, if we get people who want to move past that, or maybe their goals fall in line with moving on to something else, that's when we get into things like the front squat. And again, there'll be another video on this as well too. But that's the first time that they're typically working with a straight bar, your traditional Olympic weightlifting barbell, and we'll get them into that front racked position with the bar. And again, we'll start them with just squatting the bar, make sure the mechanics look good, and then progressing them on from there. And then the very last progression that we use with people, and this is actually something that we use with very few of our athletes here at Lift Positive Fitness, is your traditional squat with the bar on your back. I hate calling it a barbell back squat. It just sort of sounds silly to me because the way I understand squatting, that's a squat. No extra anything after that. That's just squatting. But I understand, with all the different variations, we got to give you a little bit of more information. So if you're thinking of it as the barbell back squat, the back squat, whatever. The point is the bar is on your back. And again, this is something that we only do with the most advanced members. And even that, there's still very few people that we need squatting with a bar on their back. Those people, are either folks that are really interested in powerlifting like myself, or, we need to load them up for some other reason. For most people, the risk versus reward, ratio isn't quite there. A lot of people don't typically have the shoulder mobility or the thoracic mobility to perform it correctly. And even if they did, they might get more out of it, out of a front squat than they would out of that back squat. Unless, again, like I said, that they are just brutally strong. We're trying to just add as much load as possible to a bar to move as much weight as possible. And there are some folks that's their goals, and that makes total sense. But like I said, that's not the majority of the population we have here at Lift Positive Fitness. So look forward to all those videos coming out on the goblet squat, the double racked kettlebell front squat, the safety bar squat, the front squat, and then the regular squat, or as I like to call it, or the barbell back squat, or whatever. If you've got any questions, feel free to reach out to us. My email is rob@liftpositivefitness.com. You can go to the website, liftpositivefitness.com. Or if you're in the area, just swing on by, check us out, and I'd love to meet you. Thanks so much for watching.